Ready for a ride through the roller coaster that is the UEFA European Championship? We'll meet the players who turned into legends overnight, and the ones who probably wished they had stayed in bed. Ever wondered how Cristiano Ronaldo managed to win the EuroCup? Spoiler. It involves a lot of dramatic flair and maybe some magical hair gel. We'll relive the nail-biting matches that defined the EuroCup and give a shout-out to the unsung heroes who deserve way more love. We'll dive into the strategies that led to unforgettable victories and epic fails, and see how the tournament evolved over the years. Let's get this show on the road. Let's start in 1960, a year probably nobody here remembers. The Soviet Union won against Yugoslavia in the final in Paris. It was the first edition of the tournament and, let's be honest, UEFA was trying to figure out how to make this work. The Soviets dominated because, of course, they had players who, if they lost, would probably be sent to Siberia. And who wants to play poorly knowing a frozen fate awaits? They beat Yugoslavia in a match that looked more like a chess game than football. Their strategy was simple: score more goals and avoid deportation. Anatoly Alin scored the first goal of the EuroCup, setting a pattern the Soviets would follow: efficiency and precision. The crowd of 100,572 at the Lenina Stadium in Moscow was a record that would only be surpassed years later, showing how interested Europe was in this new competition. Moving on to 1964, when Spain decided they wanted to be relevant in football again. And how did they do it? Well, they beat the Soviet Union in the final in Madrid. And of course, it was a propaganda coup for Franco's regime. Because nothing says, "Long live the dictator," like winning a football competition. Franco used this victory as if it was the very invention of football. The truth is, Spain had some luck and a bit of help from the referee, but who's counting? Luis Suarez was the team's maestro, leading the squad with precise passes and vision. The Santiago Bernabeu was packed with 79,115 fans, all hoping history would be written in their favor. And it was. Now, 1968. Italy beat Yugoslavia in the final after a replay. And here's the cherry on top: the tiebreaker was decided by a coin toss. Yes, you heard that right. They used a coin to decide who would play the final again. Imagine losing a European Championship because of a coin. It must have been a great moment for the players to re-evaluate their career choices. Sorry, guys, the coin didn't fall on our side. Maybe next time. The first match ended 1-1, and the second saw Italy win 2-0 with goals from Gigi Riva and Pietro Anastasi. The crowd in Rome was 68,817 people, all trying to understand how a football tournament could be decided by a coin flip. But that was Europe in the 60s, full of surprises and oddities. In 1972, West Germany showed the world how to play football. Franz Beckenbauer and Gerd Müller led the team to a crushing victory over the Soviet Union in the final in Brussels. It was a football lesson, with Germany playing like a Swiss watch, but without the neutrality. Beckenbauer was the maestro, and Müller, the guy who put the ball in the net. The Soviets looked like a bunch of lost tourists trying to find the Eiffel Tower. Müller scored 2 goals in the final, bringing his total in the tournament to 4 and securing the Golden Boot. The Heysel Stadium was packed with 43,066 spectators, all witnessing the rise of a football superpower. 1976 brought one of the biggest surprises in EuroCup history. Czechoslovakia beat West Germany in a penalty shootout, with Antonín Panenka executing the famous Panenka kick. Who would have thought a light touch on the ball would be enough to beat a German goalkeeper? Germany, with its discipline and strength, was defeated by a small touch of genius. It was like seeing David beat Goliath, but without the stones. The crowd of 30,790 in Belgrade witnessed one of the most iconic moments in football, one that would be repeated and honored for decades. In 1980, West Germany returned to show they were still the kings of Europe. They beat Belgium in the final because, well, Belgium was just happy to be there. It was a final without much sparkle, but the Germans did what they did best: win. And they did it with robotic efficiency. Horst Hrubesch was the unlikely hero, scoring 2 goals, including the winner in the final minutes. The Stadio Olimpico in Rome was filled with 47,860 fans, all expecting a spectacle that turned out to be more of an exercise in pragmatism. 1984 was the year of France, led by the magical Michel Platini. They beat Spain in the final in Paris, and Platini scored 9 goals during the tournament. 9 goals. He was like a magician pulling rabbits out of a hat every time he touched the ball. Spain, on the other hand, seemed to be playing with concrete shoes. It was a one-man show, and Platini was the star that shone the brightest. His goal in the final was a gift from Spanish goalkeeper Arconada, who inexplicably let the ball slip. The Parc des Princes was packed with 47,368 fans, all applauding the new era of French football. In 1988, the Netherlands brought a tactical revolution with their total football. They beat the Soviet Union in the final, with Marco van Basten scoring one of the most beautiful goals of all time. If you haven't seen that goal, stop what you're doing and watch it. It's poetry in motion. The Soviets, once again, looked like they were invited to the wrong party. Van Basten's volley from an almost impossible angle is often remembered as one of the best goals ever. The Olympia Stadium in Munich was packed with 72,308 fans, all witnessing a goal that would be replayed in videos and memories for decades. 1992 was the year of the Danish miracle. Denmark, who weren't even supposed to be in the tournament, beat Germany in the final. They were called up last minute to replace Yugoslavia and ended up winning it all. It was like seeing a guy called from the bench to win the game single-handedly. Denmark showed that sometimes life gives you lemons, and you make a championship-winning lemonade. Kim Vilfort scored the decisive goal in the final, completing a fairy tale story. The crowd of 37,800 in Gothenburg watched in disbelief as the Danes made history. 1996 brought the EuroCup back to England, where football was invented but rarely won. Germany beat the Czech Republic in the final at Wembley with a golden goal from Oliver Bierhoff. The golden goal was a brilliant idea that seemed good on paper but was a nightmare in practice. It was like watching a horror movie where you know the monster is out there, but you don't know when it will strike. And when Bierhoff scored, the Czechs probably felt like they had been punched in the gut. The crowd of 73,611 at Wembley was ecstatic, except, of course, for the Czech fans who were probably wondering what the hell just happened. The 2000 tournament was a roller coaster of emotions, with France beating Italy in the final in Rotterdam with a golden goal from David Trezeguet. It was one of the best international tournaments of all time, full of exciting matches and dramatic endings. Italy was already celebrating the victory when France turned the game around in the last seconds. It was like taking candy from a baby, except the baby was Italy, and the candy was the EuroCup trophy. Sylvain Wiltord equalized the game in stoppage time, and Trezeguet sealed the victory in extra time. The De Kuip was packed with 50,000 spectators, all in disbelief at the turnaround. 2004 was Greece's turn to do the impossible. They beat Portugal in the final in Lisbon, proving that football isn't just about skill, but also about strategy and teamwork. Greece was the underdog of underdogs, but with solid defense and some counterattack goals, they shocked the football world. It was like seeing an amateur team beat the professionals at their own game. Portugal, with all its talent, just couldn't break through the Greek wall. Angelos Karistias was the hero of the final, scoring the only goal of the game. The Estadio de Luz was packed with 62,865 spectators, all witnessing one of the greatest upsets in football history. In 2008, Spain began their era of domination. They beat Germany in the final, playing a possession football style known as tiki-taka. Led by Xavi and Iniesta, Spain played like a group of magicians who made the ball disappear and reappear where you least expected. Germany, with all their strength, just couldn't keep up with the Spanish rhythm. Fernando Torres scored the winning goal, sealing a brilliant performance. The Ernst-Happel Stadion in Vienna was packed with 51,428 fans, all enchanted by Spain's mesmerizing football. 2012 saw Spain make history by becoming the first team to win 2 consecutive EuroCups. They destroyed Italy in the final, showing that their dominance was far from over. It was a one-sided game, with Spain controlling every aspect of the match. Italy, which looked promising at first, was reduced to spectators in their own disaster. It was like watching a lion play with its prey before delivering the final blow. David Silva, Jordi Alba, Fernando Torres, and Juan Mata scored the goals in the 4-0 victory. The Olympic Stadium in Kiev was packed with 63,170 spectators, all witnessing an almost perfect display of football. 2016, Portugal's resilience. Portugal's journey to victory in 2016 was a roller coaster. Led by Cristiano Ronaldo, they started slowly but gained momentum. In the final against France, Ronaldo was forced off with an injury, but the team rallied. Substitute Eder scored a stunning goal in extra time, securing Portugal's first major trophy. Ronaldo's emotional celebrations on the sidelines were a testament to his passion and leadership. Italy's resurgence and England's heartbreak. The UEFA Euro 2020, delayed to 2021 because of the COVID-19 pandemic, was a tournament overflowing with drama, excitement, and emotional highs and lows. The final, held at Wembley Stadium in London, saw Italy face off against England in a match that had fans on the edge of their seats. Italy's goalkeeper, Gianluigi Donnarumma, emerged as the hero, making crucial saves during the shootout, including the decisive one against Bukayo Saka, sealing Italy's victory. The Azzurri's triumph was a testament to their team's unity and Roberto Mancini's masterful management. As Italy celebrated their resurgence, winning their first European Championship since 1968, the English players and fans were left heartbroken. The final was a roller coaster of emotions, a perfect reminder of the unpredictable and thrilling nature of football. The English, having pinned their hopes on "it's coming home," were instead left to mourn as it went to Rome. The EuroCup has always been more than just a football tournament. It has mirrored the political and social changes in Europe. The Cold War era saw matches between Eastern and Western Bloc countries, reflecting the tense geopolitical climate of the time. It was like a miniature battleground where, instead of tanks and missiles, they used football boots and goals. The fall of the Berlin Wall and the subsequent reunification of Germany brought new dynamics to the tournament, with East and West Germans finally playing on the same team instead of glaring at each other across a political divide. The dissolution of the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia led to the emergence of new national teams, each with its own fresh set of hopes, dreams, and the occasional political grudge. Controversies? Oh, the EuroCup has had its fair share. Spain's disqualification in 1960, due to political reasons, was just the beginning. Various refereeing decisions have driven fans to the brink of insanity, and the introduction of VAR in recent years has only added more fuel to the fire. These controversies have sparked endless debates and discussions, proving that nothing gets football fans more animated than a good old-fashioned argument over whether the ball crossed the line or if a player was offside by a millimeter. The EuroCup's history is as rich with drama and intrigue off the pitch as it is on it, making it a tournament that continually captivates and entertains. This is it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you on the next epic football tale.